WRFG do not necessarily represent the opinions of Radio Free Georgia Broadcasting, Inc., its staff, or volunteers. This program contains language and/or information which may be strong for some listeners. Portions of this program are pre-recorded. Discretion is advised.
Funding for this program is made possible by listeners like you and the following sponsors.
WRFG provides a
Tassili's
voice
Raw
for those
Reality
who
Cafe presents the 16th annual Wonderful Wizards of Raw. This year's theme is integrated healing modalities, naturopathy, homeopathy, and allopathy. A 3-day intensive, immersive wellness and cultural experience from June 5th through the 7th at Tassili's Backyard Garden, located at 1059 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard in the historic West End of Atlanta. There will be plant-based and raw food vendors and live performances of poetry, music, and workshops. This family-friendly festival is non-ticketed and open to the public. For more information about the festival, including the ticketing for the sweat lodges, vendor applications, raw food competition entries, the website is tassilisraw.com. That's TASSILISRAW.com. Thank you.
WRFG Atlanta, 89.3 FM, Radio Free Georgia Broadcasting Organization, Incorporated, provides a voice for those who have been traditionally denied open access to the broadcast media through the involvement of a broad base of community elements to guarantee that access. In the utilization of the station's facilities and in its programs, the following communities will receive first priority: those who continue to be denied free and open access to the broadcast media, and those who suffer oppression or exploitation based upon class, race, sex, age, creed, sexual orientation, disability, or immigrant status.
Give me some of that jabba jive, man. Come.
Funding for this program is brought to you by listeners like you and the following sponsor: Radio Free Java, featuring organic fair trade coffee and matcha tea, inspired by the spirit of community radio. More information at wrfg.org. A portion of the proceeds helps support WRFG, your station for progressive information and hand-picked quality music.
Come, children. Have you forgotten the simple things of life that made us who we are? Have you missed the way? Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, from our lot here, sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, from our lot here, sweet hour of prayer.
And he binds me by my Father's throat.
Yes, he do.
Make all my want and wishes known. He made them know. Oh yeah.
In seasons of distress and grief, my soul often found that relief to escape their tempers and snare. My strength is the power of prayer. Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, of King, sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, from our world of King, sweet hour of prayer. And since he finds me, I seek his face. Oh yeah, believe in his words, trust in his grace. Just have some faith. Oh yeah,
Have some faith. I cast on him my every care, my doubts, my shivers and fears. I have the courage to be anywhere and wait on the hour of prayer.
sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, from our world of King, sweet hour of prayer. Oh, sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, from our world of King, sweet hour of prayer, from our world of King, sweet hour of prayer, from our world of King, sweet hour of prayer, from our world of King, sweet hour of prayer, from our world of King, the power of prayer, from our world of King, the power of prayer.
Too long in our little ghetto. Wrong's been going on, let's protest. Children of Israel who really love right. Boy, just sit high and I as a watchman around Babylonian wall. Oh, children of Israel. I should never hold like peace while wrong is going on. Day or night, man, bust down Babylon gates. I say, prepare ye the way, prepare ye the way for your people. Fight down war and crime. Fight down war and crime. Fight down war and crime. And build up righteousness. Hear him now. Jah Rastafari. Jah Rastafari. Jah Rastafari. Preserve my people. Come on. Jah Rastafari. Jah Rastafari. Jah Rastafari, preserve my people. Yeah. Put crime away, put crime away, away. Just sit high and I still as a watchman around Babylonian walls. Yes, given up Israel. I should never hold our peace while we are penalized day and night. We should chant down Babylon doors as said, prepare ye the way. Prepare ye the way for your people. Fight down war and crime. Fight down war and crime. Fight down war and crime. And build up righteousness. Jah Rastafari. Jah Rastafari. Jah Rastafari. Preserve all people. Jah Rastafari. Jah Rastafari. Jah Rastafari. Preserve all people. Righteous name. Jah Rastafari. Jah.
On a warm summer's evening, on the train bound for nowhere, I met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns of staring out the window at the darkness till boredom overtook us, and he began to speak. He said, "Son, I've made a life out of reading people's faces and knowing what their cards were by the way they held their eyes. So if you don't mind my saying, I can see your outer faces. For a taste of your whiskey, I give you some advice." So I handed him my bottle, and he drank down my last swallow. And then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light. And the night got deathly quiet, and his face lost all expression. He said, "If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right. You got to know when to hold it, know when to fold it, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the deal is done." Every gambler knows that the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away and knowing what to keep. Cause every hand's a winner and every hand's a loser, and the best that you can hope for is to die in your sleep. And when he finished speaking, he turned back toward the window, crushed out a cigarette, faded out to sleep. And somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even. But in his final words, I found an ace that I could keep. You got to know when to hold it, know when to fold it, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money while sitting at the table. There'll be time enough to count when the deal is done. You got to know when to hold it, know when to fold it, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money while sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. You got to know when to hold it, know when to fold it, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money while sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done.
away from the Mississippi. A Negro man, come away from the sinking sand. Negro man, come away from the Mississippi. Negro man, come away from the sinking sand. For the road and the river just keep flowing. Oh, that river just keep flowing. All along, all along. Yes, the road and the river just keep flowing. Oh, that river just keep flowing. All along.
We'll pour to the creative spirit the great Ashe out of which we all emerge. Ashe.
Ashe.
We pour to that creative spirit by whatever name we know it, whatever name you hold in your heart, in your mind, whatever name your ancestors gave, whatever name you learned as a child, whatever name you believe it to be, whatever name you believe it to be in spirit or in science. Ashe.
Ashe.
We pour to the first human beings who came into existence on this planet, the first human beings who raised the first structures, who cooked the first meals, who taught the first children, who had the first children, the first Africans, the first people, who stood upright, who walked, who figured out how to stay on this planet, who figured out how to pass that knowledge on to their children and their children's children, the mothers and fathers of civilization. Ashe.
Ashe.
We pour the next libation to their grandchildren, their children's children, those who raised the great early civilizations of Kemet and Kush and Monomotapa, the great medieval civilizations of Ghana and Mali and Songhai and Kanem Bornu. We pour to those who the great civilizations of the Igbo people and the Hausa people and the Kikongo people and the Mabara people, the great Mande civilizations, the great Kikongo, the great civilizations of Southern Africa, the Bantu people, the great civilizations of Southeast Africa, the Dinka, the Shilluk, the Noor. We pour to those millions who raised the foundations from which the world would learn what it meant to be human in the world. Ashe.
Ashe.
We pour to their children who, upon the arrival on the shores of people they had never seen before, found themselves captured and marched overland, found themselves perishing by the millions before they were held on the holding cells and the open air pens on the coast of West, Central, Southern, and East Africa. We pour to the ancestors who did not know as they were stripped of all clothing and sent denuded into boats, packed like animals, and strewn their bones across the floor of the Atlantic and the Indian Ocean. We pour to them who in the last moment on Africa grabbed the sand and grabbed the dirt and put it in their mouths and understood that the only thing they might have to preserve their place in that continent was their memory of that place and their ability to pass it on to their children. We pour to them. Ashe.
Ashe.
We pour to those Africans and their children who finding themselves cast adrift in Santiago, Cuba, who found themselves cast adrift in Porto, Spain, Trinidad, and Port-au-Prince, Haiti, who found themselves cast adrift in New Orleans and Charleston and Mobile, who found themselves cast adrift in Salvador, Bahia, who found themselves cast adrift in Barbados and the archipelago that formed the wayward and the windward coast. We found them in these places learning Portuguese and Spanish and French, whose often first words was, "Oh my God, oh Madre de Dios," who found themselves praying to survive and pass on to their children the memories. We pour to those ancestors who are represented in the thousands, buried in all the square miles of where we stand, and who sit here, buried before us in 400 caskets forged of wood from West Africa with Adinkra symbols. Each one of them, each woman, man, and child, symbolic of millions. The children of those who could not be killed, we pour Ashe.
Ashe.
We pour to their children who somehow survived the hells of enslavement and fought for emancipation in the Caribbean, the French, British, Dutch Caribbean, who fought for emancipation in South America, who fought for emancipation in Central America, who fought the struggles we refer to as the Civil War in the United States, who came out of that, marched out of enslavement through Reconstruction, and found themselves making great migrations, eventually ending up in places like New York. Their children's children, who making a way for themselves, became our great-great-grandparents, our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our parents. Those who, when the first bones were discovered in this space, held their hands and said, "Stop, no more." We are here to speak for those who can no longer speak with their mouths. We pour for those ancestors, some of whom came to Howard University in 2004 and followed these caskets all the way back to New York. The ones whose names we know and the ones whose names we don't. And at this moment, as we pour this libation, I would ask anyone who feels comfortable to say the name of someone in your bloodline who is no longer physically here, but who you know made it possible for you to be here. Go ahead, let's hear the names. We pour to the names that we hold collectively. Ganga Zumba in Brazil. Toussaint Louverture, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, and Henri Christophe in Haiti. We pour to the great Avengers, Nanny of the Maroons of Jamaica. We pour to the great ancestors, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Frederick Douglass. Say the names that you study. Who are the names of the ancestors that you have come to hold in your heart and your mind as you hope that you can do what they did for us, for your children and children's children? Let's say some of those famous names. Malcolm X, Little Hamer, John Henry Clark, John G. Jackson, Jacob Carruthers. And finally, two final libations. We pour to those who make it possible for us to do what we do. We pour to these rangers who stand guardian over this sacred space. We pour to these Africans and these folks who have come from Howard University, the staff, the faculty, the administrators who brought us here today to bear witness. This is not a libation, but an affirmation, because their hearts still beat, their tongues still speak, their minds still think, and their minds still wish the best for us. We pour for all of those people who surrounded us on this journey today and made it possible for us to be here. We pour this affirmation of thanks, Ashe.
Ashe.
And finally, we pour to your children's children's children who will one day stand on this space and speak your name. Ashe.
Ashe.
Come away from the Mississippi. A Negro man, come away from the sinking sand.
Very original from Paul Robeson. Here come the Crown Prince, Dennis Emmanuel Brown. The message, there's a message in the music.
Come away from the sinking sand. For the road and the river just keep rolling. Oh, that river just keep rolling.
The river of transformation keep rolling along, y'all.
Just keep rolling. Oh, that river just keep rolling along.
As we know, big things are going on in our world today. And that's not anything new. However, it's something that's intensified. Want to send big love to Baba UC out there in the South Side. I left home and he was singing this song, Paul Robeson version.
Scared of laughing, scared of sighing, oh man,
The river keeps rolling along. There's so much music in store for you, but we have some special guests in the phone as well, and we want to on the line with us as well. We want to link up with them, and then we'll get forward to the music. This is WRFG Atlanta, 89.3 FM, WRFG.org. 89.3 on the FM dial. One, two. Come away from the Mississippi, Dennis Brown said. Come away from the sinking sand. As we said, we got some special guests on the phone line, and as I was coming on today, I was thinking about the fact that all kind of fruit of the earth. There's seasons in life, and there's seasons, and those seasons happen in various different patterns. There's longer seasons, like many people that even people that have been up here on our show been talking about this 25,000 year cycles, and for instance, there's annual cycles. We just experienced the family last week was celebrating Eid al-Adha, and we just crossed over into the Yoruba New Year. We have lunar seasons. Every 29 days, you have a full moon or a new moon. All these seasons. But one of the seasons I enjoy as much as I can as a farmer is the different seasons that refer to the food. So I was thinking about the stone fruit, peaches and the plums and all them things. They're here. The watermelons are here. And then I was thinking about the other types of fruit that come from the earth. And we got some special guests on the phone line to get us started this afternoon. They're not strangers to our community, who are very, very gifted, very, very much gifted and acquainted with some of those fruit of the earth. If you can see me on the line, I want to big up my brethren Thabit. He gave me this ring a while ago, Perfume Garden, a jeweler. Well, he's not a jeweler. He actually shares jewelry with the community. But the two brothers we got on the phone line, they are actually people who put their hands on those precious metals and those adornments of the earth and share them with the family. And we come through many stages of consciousness. I remember a time, coming up as youth and youth where we felt like, anything he was sporting, or some of the things that we saw that the Hebrew Israelites and 5%ers in the community sporting, kind of, it's not, it's just not for us, because it's just an adornment, and it's just something that may make the body look good. But what about the soul and all that? And there's some validity to that if all you're focused on is the exterior. However, life teaches you many things, and one of the things that life has taught me, and one of the reasons I'm excited to talk to our special guest this hour, is that as above, so below, as without, so within. So the beauty of these adornments, and I'm talking about, I think of my brother Elder, who used to be holding court maybe 5 minutes from where I'm sitting right now. Copper John. He's one of them that got me really acquainted with that aspect of the beauty of life, And it ain't just got to be inside the heart. You can flex it on the rings, on the wrist, and all that as well, But these brothers are in that same vein. I want to welcome to the airways of WRFG, Baba Fashola Odunade, Baba Oloye, and Baba Falere, otherwise known as the Silver Talisman. Abu Raboye, both of you. Welcome to the Ancestral Rock again. As I say many times, when I have the chance to interview people who are well known in their various realms, for one thing, like Baba Shola, you're known as a master drummer and a priest. Baba Falere, the same, but I know that I would want to interview them about things that they're also passionate about. I say also because I know you're passionate about drumming and priesthood and all that. But I know that I think I met you first, Baba Shola, in the context of being a jeweler. Right up there around that same hood. Copper John was holding court.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's what I want. That's we'd be happy to talk about that today.
All right.
Some of the fruit of the earth that we can adorn, we can be adorned with, and make us look good and feel good. And I want to start with the feel good part. You know, beyond the you look in the mirror and it's attractive to you. Of course, you feel good. And what I got to find out is that many of these stones, many of these precious minerals, they also have a metaphysical effect on the body as well as the soul. You know, like say metaphysical got physical in it. So I want to start there in terms of asking both of you to share first a little bit about what got you into jewelry and what are some of the benefits that you see that you've experienced in this art that you all create and share with the world.
Okay. Briefly, what's I got started. I used to work for my family business, and I used to sew.
Your volume is very low, Baba Shola. So if you can,
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
yeah, put on your outside voice there.
Yeah. So I used to sew with my mother, and I ran a sewing production room that served one of my family businesses back in the day. And so I met a brother named Wajid. His name was Robert O'Brien.
Mm,
Um, yeah. And he used to bring jewelry into the store, and I would merchandise and sell it. So I
mm,
noticed how fast it would sell
mm,
and how much it would sell for. So I started weighing apples to donuts. Like, wait a minute. So you took this much time to make this and made $200. I took twice the time to make $65. I'm in the wrong business. So I asked him, could I come by his shop and start to like learn some jewelry making? And he taught me twisting wire, which I really held on to mostly. But then he taught me how to solder and how to set a stone. He did it like this, bam, 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 was done.
mm,
That ring that he made probably went for like $250 at the time.
mm,
So I was very interested. I started making jewelry for my uncle's store. It was selling immediately. I actually went on the road with Wajid and did a show in Chicago. I'm sure Bob Falere was there. I just didn't know them at the time. And I sold every piece of jewelry that I made to
mm,
the point of on Sunday morning, I was just picking up anything out of my bag, twisting it up and putting it on the table. And that was selling too.
mm,
So at that moment, I knew that metal, dealing with metal was a thing that uh, resonated with our people as
mm.
well as they would pay for it. And I would be able to sustain my family and not have to go to work.
I see.
Um,
So
so
Baba, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
that's the brief history of my jewelry making uh, beginnings.
Word. That's the long and short of it. So, Baba Falere, I want to actually pick up right there, and I'm gonna throw a little question in there. You know, oftentimes I was talking about, in some communities, people look at jewelry and all of that as vanity, And then I remember in the '80s when many of these ancient, the teachers that came with that ancient knowledge in terms of the intellectual revolution and African consciousness evolution, like Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark and Naeem Akbar and Dr. Finch, you name them, they started talking about, they started relating even what they started pushing back on some of that criticism that some people would make of the youth. When Run DMC and LL with the gold chains and everything, it was like, well, if you think about it, when we was in West Africa, we had the same thing, So what they started relating it to is like, okay, well, this is us as we always have been, reaching back to our culture. It might be looking in a different way or whatever, you know what I mean? And people might be getting bust over the head over it a little bit, but that's just based on an imbalance, a social imbalance. But at the essence of it, we going back to our culture. So I want to ask you, to kind of pick up on that as well in terms of what is it that you see, in it about our culture? Is it simply the outward, the beauty of the look, or is it something else that we feel that we were resonating with that we are now returning to, and even through your work?
Okay. Yes, sir. So, I had a fairly similar introduction to this thing as Baba Shola just um talked on, which was, growing up, my father was always worked with his hands. He wasn't so much an artist, but he was a skilled tradesman. He made
Mm,
tools, he fixed bikes, he worked on cars, he did all of these manner of things. So I always kind of had like a vibe of working with my hands and wanting to do things for myself, wanting to um, be able to create things, right?
mm,
And so, to me personally, as I'm looking back on it now, that's one of the biggest parts of independence, because I've always, even when I was a kid and couldn't really think about or understand what the idea of freedom is, right?
mm,
Um, Once I found this thing and I met Baba Osajifo, which a lot of your listeners may know, um, Timbuktu Art Gallery, a lot of them probably had bought jewelry back in the day from him or even recently. So he was a great teacher, but his teaching, like he would always say, we are revolutionaries
mm,
that use art as our front so that
mm,
we can make
mm,
it palatable to the people, so that we
mm,
can present it into to the people in a way that they can accept. So sometimes you need to present spirit to a person like
mm,
where it's beautiful, to where
mm,
they can receive it. They could be like, oh, spirit is beautiful,
mm,
because
mm.
of how much things we've gone through that don't really feed us in our spirit in this culture and society that we live in here.
Mm, mm,
And just through the years and generational stuff that a lot of us have going on here.
right.
So you said something earlier about the idea of the physical part of the metaphysical.
Mm, mm,
So I'm on like the third iteration, or maybe the third addition
mm, mm,
to my jewelry businesses or life, right? And so the last one was Silver Talisman. And
mm, mm,
I love that name, because it's like I'm not just making jewelry here. I'm
mm,
not
mm,
just making silver jewels, trinkets, this or that. I'm making like real talismans. Like when you put this on,
mhm,
this metal should vibrate with you.
mhm,
This stone, whatever properties the stone may have, should vibrate with you. And also, whatever vibe I'm having while I'm putting into it. Because anytime I'm sitting down making jewelry, it's love in there. It's anticipation, it's thought. It's like, oh man, when she sees this one, or when he
right,
puts this
right,
on his
right,
wrist, it's gonna give a thing to them that they didn't have before, that makes it
right, right.
more than just we putting something on you, but actually you're receiving something that's really gonna, you can walk around with and help you be more whole even.
True, 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 true. Yeah, real talk. I mean, we don't have so much time today with y'all. However, I want to really kind of hone more in on that. You said something powerful. You said Baba Osajifo said, I think that's who you attributed to in terms of being revolutionaries who use art as our front. I think when you talked about that, I just immediately went back to Dahomey with the mothers who started seeing that people, our family was leaving and not coming back. And they started braiding seeds into each other's hair, cornrows, you know what I'm saying? And like, you know what I'm saying? When you start really studying about cornrows, just as an example of this physical beauty, that's a fresh look that some people may not even get so deep about. The maps of how to get the hell out of Dodge, off the plantation, and all these things. You know what I'm saying? And when I think about y'all's jewelry, it's the same thing. Like Baba Short, I can't help but be staring at that thing you got on your hand right there, brother. You know that that piece right there. I mean,
You put it up there, right? It's like, I have this too.
Talk like this,
but I'm saying I want y'all to take us home with that for a little bit in terms of, you ain't got to give away the secrets, but give us some examples of what it is that you do put into your art, or what even has been put into art that you have collected and you adorn yourself with, and some of the benefits that it gives you. I mean, I remember reading Dr. Laila Africa's book of blessed memory, and he went into colors. He went into metals. He didn't just talk about the apples and the oranges and the cucumber and the ginger and the turmeric. In terms of all of these things, all of these fruit, is what I want to say of the earth. All of these products of the earth that have a very physical benefit to us.
Mhm. So I'll start and try to keep it real brief. It's just a deep question.
Right.
And um, before I was intentional with jewelry making, I was putting my good vibes into the jewelry,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that people will put it on and feel good. There's a lady who bought a piece from me, and she said that she was an artist, she was a poet, singer, and she couldn't really speak, so she brought me a blue lace agate. I didn't know what it did. She said, "Well, this stone is supposed to open up your throat chakra and this that." I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'll wrap it for you." Cool. She came back about a week later, like, "Yo, thank you for healing me." And then I was like, "Oh wow, it does all of that." So I started getting more intentional about the pieces I was making. And on top of that, now what people might not know is that I'm initiated to E5, also Baba Falere is initiated to E5. So now that we understand the metaphysical benefits of the metal, and
Mm,
also can tie the metal into divine beings,
mm,
then that's also a part of the intention that naturally goes into the metal. So if I'm working with silver,
mm,
I'm automatically thinking about Obatala.
mm, mm,
I'm
mm,
working with brass or gold, I'm thinking about Oshun.
mm,
Copper, I'm thinking about Oya and Eshu. So like that's another part of the spiritual essence of the jewelry we're making. And also anything that a Babalao touches with good character is gonna manifest blessings.
mhm,
So that's a piece that I didn't have before that I have now. When I'm putting into my jewelry, I have a whole nother flow that goes into the jewelry. So it's definitely a thing that um uh the spirit of it comes with love and goodness, but now there's love, goodness, and intention that's
mm,
also backed by our initiations and
mm.
our culture.
I see. Baba Falere, take us home with that because I know y'all have some good news for us, and we're looking forward, anticipating the opening of a place, another watering hole, as such, where we can
Yes, sir.
tap in with all of this. I know I'm gonna put it out there. I see a documentary uploaded. You know, Baba Shola, we have a good time when we get to sit down and talk, and you tell your story because just as anybody who has lived an intentional life, when you tell your story, you're telling the story of our people. You know, from your perspective. You know what I mean? And so I'm looking forward to inviting myself. I'm inviting myself now, as a matter of fact,
Sir.
to do a documentary about this
Yeah.
because there's so much. There's so much there. Even when I mentioned Copper John, I get goosebumps because I mean, you know, for those if you know Copper John, you know Copper John. Period. You know,
Yeah.
for those, you know, as my man Shaka Zulu, them and the family say, you know, Atlanta influences everything. There's so much that has happened here in this little close proximity that has gone out into the world now and has been a part of a cultural evolution, right? But that's another story for another day. Baba Falere, how would you want to add to that?
I'll just, I mean, of course, Baba always speaks well. And in addition, I would uh, put forth the idea, remind us of the understanding that when we talk about like our ancestors or, like traditional practices or things like that, like even when our people were transplanted over here or whatever, like we always had drums with everything. If it wasn't no drum, we'll make a drum out of something. We always put color on everything. We always put chant. Even when we're just speaking, we always put a rhythm to it, a
Mm-hmm.
rhythm to our walk, a thing like that, which is why, you know, s- now this is of course just my opinion, but so many of the cultures around the world like idolize like the African who's like true to African roots. Even us, those of us who have been in America for generations, family wise.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's really a big part. Like, Baba Shola always tell you, we don't have to mention it just now, but his inspiration for why he makes stuff, and how
Mm-hmm.
why his stuff looks like that. It's always the curve, it's always this, it's always that.
Mm-hmm.
And my stuff is very different than his, but it has the same type of vibe to it. Like, there's always got to be a rhythm. There's always got to be,
Mm-hmm.
even if you're making something that's like totally asymmetrical or totally like as shoe, like red on one side, black on the other side, whatever it is, it's always like a balance and a rhythm to it that we maintain. And that's why people love it in general, but
Yeah,
especially our people. And that's why we make it like we make it,
yeah,
because we can do the gold and the diamonds and the cathedral rings and the princess setting and all of that stuff. But like, this is what we love to do. The stuff that you'll see when you come down to see us, and that you'll really see the things that we love to do, because it connects us with our spirit, and we want to offer it in that way so that hopefully it can help the next person connect with their spirit as well.
I see. So where is the this that we're gonna go become and see? We know, of course, we can't mention price, but please give us, just let us in on the secret now. We've been hinting at it all afternoon. There's a grand opening taking place. Another water hole. That's how I would call it, a watering hole, a cultural watering hole that we can tap into. Tell us all about that, and give us the detail, the when and the where.
I'll go. So the win is Saturday, June 6th. The where is 4960 Covington Highway. That's Unit 6, Decatur, Georgia. It's 2 doors down from Ye's Botanica East, so it should be really easy to find. We're opening a handmade jewelry. Well, it's a handmade jewelry store. So we can't say the name or can't say the name.
Yeah, you can say the name, of course. I'm just saying we just can't mention the price.
Okay, no price. Okay, so it's called Ye's, which we're dedicating again to our beautiful mother Oshun. Ye's Jewelry and Art Collective. So this place is a collection of 3 artists who grew up in the same jewelry family, and we came together to make a store where you can come and get, like Baba Falere said, the pieces that reflect you, reflect us and our culture, and also it's an art gallery as well. So we've been collecting African art for many years. So you can also come in and see and also purchase really fine African art at our store. My Fahamu Peku is not for sale, so don't ask. But everything else around is for sale.
Big up yourself
So
for
yeah, that ain't for sale. That's just for show. But everything else, we have some really nice statues. We have baths. We have paintings. And that is a backdrop to beautiful copper, silver, and brass jewelry that we hand make.
That's what's
That's
up.
Saturday, June 6th, 12 until. I think if you pull up at 10 o'clock, we'll still be there kicking it. So I don't want to put an end time on it because it's going to be a party. We're going to be giving out free jewelry. We're going to have music. We'll have food, free mimosas, and it's going to be a family affair. And all those who used to buy from me, Little 5 Points 20 years ago, it's going to be the same vibe. All those who bought from Silver Talisman over the years, in Little 5 and on the road and at the shows, it's going to be the same vibe. And to let you know, like, we are the elders of jewelry making. We are the ones who started all the young people wrapping copper stones. So come see what the elders have for you. It's polished, it's fine. It teeters the line of fine jewelry and cultural jewelry. So we expect to see you on Saturday, June 6th, between 12 until.
That's what's up. Plain and simple, like he said, the Fahamu piece is not for sale. I'm glad you made that little distinction there. I might have been asking for it myself.
I know everybody's gonna ask. No, that one's wrong.
But thank y'all for joining us. I want y'all to stay tuned. Have fun out there, getting prepared for the big day.
Yeah,
we got some special guests coming up that I'm sure you want to hear from. One brother in the studio with us, Baba Soul, who's coming in that lineage of yes, man, the earthman, and he wears a couple of wraps himself. He came up well wrapped today. You know what I mean, with this thing. But let's get to it. Well, much love to y'all, and much success in this new endeavor. And thank y'all for always thinking about your people when you put your hands to the pedal. Much love.
Appreciate you, bro.
Much love. 404-523-8989 is the number. 404-523-8989. Like I said, we got special guests in the building. So I'm going to play something for you real quick and come forward with our brother, Tristan Wolf, Baba Soul, an author, a musician, Earthman, African Earthman. As a matter of fact, I gotta play him. I gotta play his theme music. But let's do this real quick. Again, this is WRFG Atlanta 89.3 on the FM dial. Big up yourself, our family, our massive our crew. Anywhere you stand up in the world, let's continue to take care of each other by taking care of ourselves first and foremost. Like they say on the airplane, you know. Make sure you pull down your mask before you pull down your neighbors.
I see you coming with your bulletproof vest. 3 grenades, 2 knives, 5 guns strapped around your chest. Wanting to move everything from out of your face. With your face so nasty, get your blasted eyes and pass me. I am not afraid, I am not afraid, I'm not afraid of you. I am not afraid, I am not afraid, you and your friends them too. I am not afraid, I am not afraid, I'm not afraid of you. I am not afraid, you and your friends them too. Don't try to intimidate me. I'm not a weak heart, you can't scare me. Anything you can do, I can do better than you. I'm not a weak soul, Selassie made me brave and bold. I am not afraid, I am not afraid, I'm not afraid of you. I am not
coming out of the land of many waters.
afraid, you and your friends them too.
Firstborn.
I am not afraid, I am not afraid, I'm not afraid of.
Reaching out to all the firstborn, sons and daughters, you know.
Afraid, I am not afraid, you.
Heavy is the head that wear the crown, I tell you.
Can't walk the street with me herb in peace. Always a fight, always a hide from the peace. Coming with brute force and ignorance. Wanting to jail or kill anything near or in the distance. I am not afraid, I am not afraid, I'm not afraid of you. I am not afraid, I am not afraid, you and your friends them too. I am not afraid, I am not afraid, I'm not afraid of you. I am not afraid, I am not afraid, you and your friends them too. We don't fear man, man is but equal to man.
89.
The King of Kings is I and I, only protection. Anywhere he send I, I've got to go.
Anywhere he send I got to go. Firstborn thinks so.
The wicked them to know.
You're not afraid, you know.
I am.
Firstborn said they're not afraid, and we give thanks for that. We give thanks for the fearless ones. We give thanks for the fearless ones. And we got one of them in the studio, my brethren. I ain't seen him in the flesh in a while, and it's good to see him in the flesh. I met him as, you know, I guess in human years, maybe a little younger than I, and as a strong youth, you know, as the people say, as I remember my elders saying, and as we just say all the time, you know, the thing that we desire most is sons and daughters that lead. And Baba Soul has been one of those people that come forward and take up the baton strong. I think of Nana Kweku Ando, who used to lead us in nature walks. Think of Baba Stephen Tate, who is still with us. I think of Mama Aisha Faiza. Just to name a few. In this Atlanta, Georgia, who would make it their duty to make us aware of the riches and the abundance around us. You know, that's what they did. They made it their duty to make us aware of the riches and the abundance around us. And Baba Soul comes in that lineage, he comes in that spirit, and we're welcoming to the studio of WRFG Atlanta. I'm happy to be holding his book in my hand. Hey, Hood Medicine, an urban field guide to medicinal and edible plants of Eastern North America. So for the sake of those of y'all on StreamYard, I got my back to him in the studio, but you know, we looking at each other on the screen. Baba Soul, give thanks for coming through, man. Thank you for coming through, and welcome again to the airways.
Gratitude for having me.
How you feeling, man?
Hey, I'm feeling well. You know, good to be back in the A.
True.
You know, and be back here on the radio and sharing this love with everybody. You know.
True. Man, I'm so proud of you, bro, just for this right here, you know. I've been proud of you, and you know that. And, you know, you took it to the next level now with this, because now the people all over the world and generations can pick this up, you know, and reflect on some of the works that you put in through the life. So before we get into the book, you know, like they say, you don't know the author of the book, you don't know who you read. So tell those of us who are not familiar with you a little bit about who Tristan Wolfe, otherwise known as Baba Soul, is.
Well, I'm born and raised here in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? I'm a country boy that's been in the city for a little while. I'm here by way of my ancestors. You know, I grew up in Decatur, going back before to the country, Putnam County, Edenton, Georgia, to be exact.
Okay.
So I grew up hunting and fishing and all of that, but I really give thanks to like my grandmother that taught me about homesteading, agriculture when I didn't even know what it was, herbalism, learning how to make my own medicine and stuff when I didn't even know that's what she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And as I got older, it just came through me. So I started off volunteering and all kind of stuff in the community gardens here, from the east to the west, and linking up with big roles and elders like yourself, and just soaking it all up and wanting to do my part here in the world. That's all I can really say. I've tried out so many different things. I've done so many different things in this realm. I know you were just talking about jewelry making. That was one of my first things I started doing, was making jewelry. And I got into Reiki. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing energy healing for a while. Then I got into herbalism. And I realized that, you know, I had to go a little deeper than that. And I started studying ethnobotany, getting into the ethnobotanicals, learning about the things that surround us that we can use every day. And it just keeps getting deeper and deeper, man. And now I'm, you know, teaching survival skills and sharing what I know, because I feel like that's just the call that I heard and I answered it.
I see.
Where I can put it.
Yeah, I mean, that's I can bear witness to the truth of that, you know, and I can imagine. I can also, what's the word I want to use? I can identify with, you know, the various things that you mentioned in terms of things you've been into, you know, even in my own journey, and the fact that when you got to the herbs, you found something that clearly was home.
Yeah.
I wanna play something real quick. It's the top of the hour, and we're gonna get deep into it. We're talking with Tristan Wolfe, Baba Soul, author of Hood Medicine, Volume 1, an urban field guide to medicinal and edible plants of Eastern North America, and their hoodoo uses, medicinal preparations. All right, this is something that is what we call class is in session. 404-523-8989 is the number. 404-523-8989. We got some important announcements to play and be right forward with you. Stay tuned to yourself, y'all.
Funding for this program is made possible by listeners like you and the following sponsors. Tassili's Raw Reality Cafe presents the 16th annual Wonderful Wizards of Raw. This year's theme is integrated healing modalities, naturopathy, homeopathy, and allopathy. A 3-day intensive, immersive wellness and cultural experience from June 5th through the 7th at Tassili's Backyard Garden, located at 1059 Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard in the historic West End of Atlanta. There will be plant-based and raw food vendors and live performances of poetry, music, and workshops. This family-friendly festival is non-ticketed and open to the public. For more information about the festival, including the ticketing for the sweat lodges, vendor applications, raw food competition entries, the website is tassilisraw.com. That's TASSILISRAW.com. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Big up yourself, Mama Tassili, and the family over there that's really providing a space. Space is so important, Baba Soul. Space for healing, space for regeneration, space for grounding, space for reflection. The various spaces that uplift us. Yeah, man, we got to hold it. And Mama Tassili been doing it. This book right here, I want to play something and come forward because when I say you walking in the lineage, I don't use those words lightly. And this is a tribute to somebody very special.
Well, not if you reach there before I in a Zion town. Or you can tell them I am traveling and traveling. No, this happened to be a big request and special demand to a mightyful healer, a teacher and a friend. Circle Papa and look how your life can end. October 7, Dr. Ando did a talk to plant. October 18, right away upon a gold elephant. Say what a modern man, I tried the ancient breed. I hear the children rejoicing cause him gonna lead. Say Dr. Ando, him better window. Big one go rally and a different vibration. And him a sing do, feel all the info. Because the mission still a black liberation. So a party did that keep an eye in hotel room. And a ball, selector, come change up the tune. Usaim bring the message round the pants and skirt. Send quick one to one, open the earth. Papa Ando, him go the mango. And come a foreign come to teach the medication. Him is a whole soul from the black hole. From him there is a mystic vibration. Him left it down low. We find a way home. And if you know our agriculture meditation, just watch your plants grow in a the free zone. From your call and quick and libation, eradication I go kill your breed. And dirty Babylon won't done your deed. Where man a plant good deeds from where I there when you know what time to reap the victory sweet. Nebuchadnezzar now go done with this, and Monsanto now go kill with seed. A quick who want to teach the African story, and down a Elmina now fi plant some seed. Yeah. God, the Dr. Ando to find a window. And
Quick who Ando. Nana. Quick who Ando. Oh, bless the memory. We give thanks for him. We give thanks for his contribution to our journey, to our Sankofa journey. For those of y'all who are joining us on screen, you saw a picture of him and with Mama Virgie. Bless up yourself, Mama Virgie, Pearl Academy. She was in the backdrop soaking it all in. I saw Mama Ayo in that picture as well. But that was Baba Soul. That was a nature walk that Sister Karen Marie Mason and myself sponsored over at Cascade Nature Preserve. Okay. And one thing I remember that as we get into your book and to your work, because when I started linking with you, I was like, this is his gift. You can't fake that, you know? Not that you was even trying. I'm just saying nobody can fake what is like a gift. Yeah. Even sometimes when we trying to hide from it, and it's like, no, you got that. You know what I'm saying? So I remember one of the things I remember about that is if you ever been to Cascade Nature Preserve, the plan was to go into the preserve and walk around. We spent 3 hours in the parking lot.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
We ain't moved,
Like, we ain't
but
get nowhere.
100 feet. And not just idle talk. And this is and this, you know what I'm saying? Just really putting us up on game, you know? Right there in the parking lot, Cascade Nature Preserve. Kweku Ando, big up yourself, Nana Ando. So, Baba Soul, as I'm flipping through your book, just looking at some of the offerings, and I'm starting with some of the titles and the table of contents. I'm seeing you talking about things like the terminologies and the leaf terminologies, and you know how you researched for the book. And then I see something about, is it the culture of respect or the?
Yeah, respect the land.
Yes. Let's start right there. That jumped out at me. Let's start right there. What's that all about?
Well, you know, the reason why I put that section in there is because a lot of times what I realize in today's age, we got a lot of people that are wanting to go into the field of healing and the category of herbalism. And the whole foraging wave is kind of jumped off really big. Way before, I mean, before I started putting it out, people weren't really doing that, I don't think, in the community as much as they are now. And it's turned into a capitalism thing for me. What I realize is people just go out and they kind of do it in a colonistic way. You know? They go in and they just take because they want to make some money. You know what I mean? They want to heal these type of people. You know, that sometimes they take the stuff and don't even use it. You know, and I want people to understand, you know, the ethics of harvesting and being connected to the land and why the land even is sharing its medicine with us. You know, I wrote the book so that I didn't have to always be out in world showing people, but I wanted people to be able to move how I move with the medicine, you know. So basically, that's what it's about. Like, respect the land in the need of, like, if there's only a little bit of something growing, allow it to grow. You know what I mean? Like, some people, I've taken somebody to a stinging nettle patch before and come back a month later and all the stinging nettles gone. You know what I mean? That hurts because I'm someone that I've used that stinging nettle patch for 3-4 years and it's been there that long and I've never seen it just disappear, and it's almost like a vibrational response. You know? And I believe that the earth is a living, breathing being, just like we are. We should treat it like our mother, or our sister. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I feel you, man. And that's I can imagine that's why that chapter jumped out at me. So that title, you know, because I mean, you just said it so poignantly, so eloquently. You know, we have learned the ways of colonizers and internalized the ways of colonizers.
Yeah.
And started acting like them in a way that even with the beautiful things, you know, which is what they did too. That's the whole thing about it. You know, I like to really look at that psychology for a minute, because let's just take it broad for a minute and just look at this settler colony called the United States of America, right? I remember a time in my youth and ignorance that I thought this land was cursed, you know, just based on, you know, how my interpretation of the Bible and the Revelation and the third of the earth gonna burn up, you know, I mean, all that kind of stuff in terms of Babylon, you know. And I remember I had to apologize to the land. And what gave me, let me step back a little bit. The reason I thought that it was cursed was because I came up in a place where, in Guyana, South America, Buxton to be exact, where everywhere around these fruit trees. And when I came to Atlanta, for instance, I didn't see that. I just saw pine trees, you know? I'm like, what is it? And so, you know, putting 2 and 2 together and all this. But then starting to go in the cut and then went up to places like Sassafras Ridge and seeing all this food everywhere. I'm like, man, you know? So I had the consciousness to do that. But then I'm thinking of the colonizers who came into this land and saw the beauty. And as you said, with a greedy mentality. There's a proverb, you may have heard it before, a Jamaican proverb that says, when you go to fireside, take half and leave half. Meaning, you know, you get some food, just get enough for you and keep moving. Because there's enough for everyone, like Midnight Age. I made enough for everyone. So that example you made of the stinging nettle that was just there, replenishing itself, you know, taking care of many people. Then all of a sudden somebody come in and they just want
to sell it, monetize.
You know, and I guess ain't nothing wrong with monetizing, but still, even with that, what are you doing though? Take half and leave half.
We gotta be ethics. We have to have those ethics.
Yeah. So that's a good place to start, you know, and I appreciate that because as part of the Sankofa journey, we got to unlearn and relearn, you know. True. There was a man that said, you know, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be the person who can't read and write, but the person who cannot unlearn and relearn. You know what I mean? That's real talk. So let's get into this book, Baba Soul. Yeah. First of all, what inspired you to put pen to paper?
Well, I feel like I wanted to be able to leave behind something for my children as well as the community, just in case anything happened to me. You know what I mean? I want to be able to put down my thoughts and as well as share this information because it could get lost. We are dealing with the digital age now. Everything uploaded to the cloud. And I feel like we got cloud, all our minds are in the cloud at this point. And everybody's so trusting of these things being recorded in those data centers or whatnot. But like if the grid ever shut down or anything like that, we will have something, you know, that's, you know, tangible to hold. And you can flip through, you know what I mean? And it's about how you save it. As well as, you know, in my field, we have something called an herbarium where you save plants that you come around and you write down information about them, or you watch them, and you keep that for your own memory or keepsake or whatnot. You can pass that along to your lineage or whatnot. So this is like my herbarium for my people, basically. Without actually having those plants. All these pictures in here I took myself. Man,
Baba, so I want to tell you, I got goosebumps, you know, as I'm flipping through this. I don't want to cut you. Go ahead, talk your talk, man.
All the pictures I took myself, and a lot of these pictures are from like 6 years ago and recent, you know, all kind of information that I had to hold on to myself. It's been a lot of adversity in making this book because I've lost laptops and things have gone to the cloud that I can't even find no more because I got so many different emails and that they connected to and phone numbers that they connected to and all that kind of stuff. And so it's like, it was really, that's what it's all about, is just being able to pass this along to somebody and get it out and not be destroyed by the digital age. Because like I said, if all this shut down, what you gonna have? A lot of people using their phones to identify things, and I really feel like even with the phones, those things could be misleading. A lot of times, they're not even correctly identifying stuff. You got to go through and verify it yourself as well. So that's what it comes down to, man. It's showing people that this information you need to commit to your mind as well.
I see. I remember going on a couple of nature walks with you. You came one time, we did a live right there at OU Botanical Gardens. And you're the one that hit me to this whole thing of mimosa, which is abundant right now at the time. They call it the happy flower. I want to send greetings to Yalosha Oshin Tinibu out there. See you, Mama, one of our elders. We must always show respect to our elders. Mama Makeda, Makosa out there. Blessed love, Mama Makeda. My brother Sunjata Kweku. Yalosha, she comes from, not only is she an elder and a great teacher, but she comes from that same tradition. So does Mama Makeda. Makeda Dread come from that tradition, from Yalosha, from Oyatunji village of nature stewards who understand that balance, you know. What about if somebody came, like for instance, we go to Jamaica right now, as you may know, Baba Soul, people from the island can't even enjoy the beach because somebody didn't know how to take half and leave half. So they just gonna ward off the whole thing, and now you born there and your grandfather born there, and you got to come and ask permission to go to the beach that you grew up swimming in.
It's crazy.
That's how crazy it gets, you know. But let's get forward to this book, you know, and the essence of this book, because that's what's bringing out this whole conversation. You know, like I'm just flipping through the chapters, just kind of randomly, making it yours, plant types.
Yeah.
Just tell us where. Just guide us through this.
So
some of the points you want to just kind of highlight before we do the right thing and make sure we make the investment in what you've put to just give us a little bit of teaser.
Well, one of the main things I do talk about in the beginning of the book is how the land speaks to us, and it speaks to us through our vibrations. Think about it like this: plants, they only see light, and if you think about us, we're bioluminescent beings. You know, we put off auras, and they respond to us like that. They can't speak to us with words. Sometimes they speak to you through telepathy, you know, if you're that sensitive, let's say. And so a lot of the things that are growing in our environment are there to heal us. You know what I mean? It's more so of a cause and effect type of thing going on in our environments. I'll give an example of like the kudzu being here in vast amounts, and we don't even know why it's still here growing so much. But a lot of us are dealing with diabetes and alcoholism. You know what I mean? And we're also at a place where we don't have a lot of nutrient dense foods in our diet. Yes, shouts out to all the farmers, you know what I mean? Because I'm a farmer too. But at the same time, a lot of things that we're getting from our grocery stores and things are not nutrient dense.
Talk that talk,
so
brother.
The foods that we need to be taking in should come from the land, because it's a natural, fertilized, composted environment. It's feeding itself, and they're deep in the ground, and they live around us. It's in the water, it's in the air. We use the bathroom around these things, we breathe around them. So it's an energetic response. I call it the quantum biofield, where we're all merged with these plants, just as if they're our cousins. Yeah. And so they want us to heal. And my theory is that when we start taking these plants, we'll start to see a different energetic response in ourselves. And we'll start to steward the earth a lot more. The way we're living right now is that, you know, we're living with this artificial intelligence.
It's not sustainable. It ain't sustainable at all.
I like to say we can still use AI, but it's ancestral intelligence. You know what I mean? And so it helps us by us taking in these plants from the earth. We start to gain more ancestral intelligence instead of the artificial intelligence, which allows us to move in a different manner, and we'll have a different outcome because it's all variables in this equation that we live in. Another part of the book is just, the hoodoo properties of the plants.
Yeah, I really wanted to get to that. But before we get there, just a brief moment, because you just went through something so fluidly that I don't want us to skip over.
Yeah, I be talking fast.
No, you doing it right. I'm just doing my part too. Because when you said about the kudzu, and you said, you know, we don't even know why it's still here. I love the way you said that, but then why is it still here? Because my interpretation of how you just said that is because it has a use for us. So it would behoove us to take advantage of, you know, the usage of these things. But as I'm reading on this website, which I won't mention, however, where, you know, just clicking in the title of your book, of course, people can go there as well and read what I'm reading. Something that just stuck out to me, where it says, this book invites readers to see the cracks in the sidewalk as gateways to the old ways, where plantain pushes up through asphalt, mullein stands like a sentinel, and murkwork dreams under the moonlight. That's poetry in motion for real, you know? And let's talk about that kudzu for a minute, because it's abundant everywhere. Just like what you mentioned the mimosa, or I mentioned the mimosa earlier. Yeah. It's abundant everywhere, and the flowers show themselves for a while, but the trees are there, the leaves are there, and they can be eaten like callaloo. So there should be no starvation on the land if we really knew all that we've been given. So for me, it's very exciting to be able to show and prove and show that it's not just some kind of feel-good escapism kind of talk. Mm-hmm. When we say, no, we were created in an environment of abundance. Yeah. That's just not no feel-good talk just to make ourselves, to kind of psych ourselves out of reality. That's what it is. So what does that abundance look like? So just give us a little bit more about that, the kudzu, please.
Yeah, so you could also eat the kudzu too. You know what I mean? You could eat that, the leaf of it, and you can eat the root of it. The root of it can be turned into flours. It's a good starch. You know what I mean? So people that deal with type 1 and type 2 diabetes can lower their blood sugar levels with the glucose that's inside of those starches. You know what I mean? A lot of people call these things invasive plants, but it's like, why are they invading? Like you talk about the mimosa tree, they call that an invasive species. Mm-hmm. And it's like, why is this so prevalent around here? We got a lot of people dealing with depression, bipolar disorder, and a lot of different ailments that we don't even like to talk about. And we take a lot of medication for that comes from plants. Mm-hmm. Like all the medicine that people are taking these days is derived from the plant. And so we have to just start taking these things in a lot more. As far as kudzu being able to heal you, it can help out with gastrointestinal issues and things like that too, where we need to clean our blood out. Mm-hmm. I got a lot of different plants in there that basically work synergistically in a sense. I'm always battling. I'm on a war against parasites. And so a few of the plants in there help you get rid of parasites. People that are dealing with alcoholism for the kudzu. We got people that are drinking because they're depressed, because they don't want to go through the day with their sober minds. And also, not even just alcoholism. Think about this. We're in a place where people are always full of sugar. And if you know what sugar breaks down into, it breaks down into alcohol when it goes into your digestive tract. People that eating breads and pastas all day, candy all day, sodas, whatever. We're walking distilleries at this point. And not even if you're not drinking alcohol actively, you're probably drunk. You know, nobody's sober right now. And that's where it comes down to, like, we have to break our sugar addictions. And so, like, the kudzu can help you out with that as well. So I just try to open up the door for people to step through.
To do the knowledge. And of course, this is not...
I want to do the work for you.
Yeah, and of course, we got to say this is not medical advice. Big up yourself, my brother Trent. My brother Trent down in New Orleans in the Crescent City. Big up yourself. It's not medical advice. We're just sharing information. So you were going somewhere, man, and I kind of stopped you, in terms of the next chapter in the book that you wanted to highlight. I'm just really excited about this. And, and just to the whole point that I mentioned earlier about Dr. Ando and that nature walk. Because we did the same thing. We did one on the west side, and then we went out to Wade Walker Park on the east side. And it was the same thing. We traveled about 50 feet. Yeah. There's so much food. Just dropping jewels. So this is a whole lifetime of information. It's not something that is here just for a soundbite. So the fact that you're sharing this information with us, I love it very much. Big up yourself. Yalode, Mama Toki, Ori Shun. So let's go to the next place with this. Where you want to take us, Baba Soul?
Let me see. Something that, I was going to talk about the hoodoo properties of the plants as well, because plants not only have medicinal properties and edible properties, they have magical properties.
Let's go.
Shouts out to Baba Sola. You know what I mean? I went to one of his birthday celebrations.
Yes.
I think it was last year or the year before. And everybody there was calling me Osanya. And I've been, I tapped into the Osanya, and, just thinking about that alone, Osanya was one of the original Orishas that basically he's the one that everybody needs. You can't do no initiations and no work in Ifa or Santeria or any of these faiths without Osanya. he's the one that provides the plants. You need fresh plants to do all your ceremonies.
That's true.
And he didn't never need an initiation.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, this is like no exaggeration, but I went towards Ifa when I was younger, and I was told I didn't need to be initiated. I just needed to walk my path, and I didn't understand that at the time. But as I've gotten older and started walking this path, I'm like, oh damn, maybe I am Osai. You know what I mean? That is me. And people call me that, and I know the plants, and I work with them. You know what I mean? I sing to them. They're like my brothers, my sisters, and I get enraged. You know, even in ceremonies and things like that, they talk to me when they get big. Like I know the plant entities at this point at a personal level. And so when it comes down to the hoodoo properties, learning more about the plants that grow around us, not just the ones that are provided in stores and whatnot, and being able to work with those, because our ancestors, I know my ancestors were hoodoo practitioners, and a lot of our ancestors out here are hoodoo practitioners, as well as people are getting more into their personal magic right now in life. So learning how to cultivate this energy and work with it in a positive manner, because a lot of people look at hoodoo as something real dark, and it's like about throwing roots on people and stuff like that. But no, mostly it was to protect.
It's liberation. It's liberation science. You know, there's many people. I mean, people take water and weaponize it and to do madness with it. However, water is here to heal us and refresh us and hydrate us and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
You've been saying some very profound things, even in terms of when you talked about, you know, the imperative of just walking in your path and doing the work. As an alternative to going through like a formal initiation, because life initiates us in many ways. And the word initiation, just like graduation, just like commencement, it talks about a beginning, you know, and not some kind of destination. You know what I mean? It talks about getting on a path that will ultimately lead you to your higher being. You know what I'm saying? To a reflection of yourself. So we are talking with Baba Soul, Tristan Wolf, 27 minutes after the hour of 3, author of a book called Hood Medicine, Volume 1, an urban field guide to medicinal and edible plants of Eastern North America and their hoodoo uses, medicinal preparation. Let's go a little bit more about the hoodoo uses. We got a special guest about to join us, someone that I know you're very familiar with. And this is all about this strong end of healing that's taking place, you know. Let's just dip a little bit more into that sauce right there in terms of the hoodoo purposes.
Yeah, so main thing is that we've always had a connection with Jane, and when it comes down to the hoodoo properties of these plants, it gives us a certain reverence for them, and seeing them for more than just plants, we see them as allies. And I talk about that in the book, and seeing them as allies, it means that's your friend. You know what I mean? That's a confidant. That's somebody that can help you, assist you on your path to life. So when you have a certain respect for these plants, you'll use them accordingly. You're not using them, but you're working with them. Let me just say that. We're working with these plants. There are lots of plants that are just growing around you. Like there's something in there called the 5-finger grass. You know, a lot of people are trying to attract money to themselves and whatnot, you know. And I'm just saying this because these are things that people really be thinking about most of the time this day and age. We're trying to get some money, right? We're trying to take care of ourselves, support ourselves. And so 5-finger grass is a love herb. You know, a lot of people need that confidence, that extra boost to go and get their money. We got herbs in there that are good for court cases. Got herbs in there that are good for binding yourself towards something, you know, getting yourself away from things, ridding yourself. I think that a lot of people need to learn more because we forgot this stuff, basically.
We forgot it.
We forgot it. As well as building that relationship with them will help you pass that on to your youth.
Yes.
I didn't get this stuff passed on to me. You know what I mean? I had to learn it as I went. Because I talked to my grandma. She'll tell me, oh, yeah, this was used for this, but I don't mess with that, you know? And it's like we have a sense of fear of our own magic. And that's why we feel powerless at times, because we got John the Conqueror's group, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people walk with that because they want to stay away from the laws and not be caught up in things that they do. But where does it come from? It comes from a plant called the apomea, which is basically the morning glory.
Mm-hmm.
And the morning glory grows all around us. You know what I mean? That's why you should work with these plants and get to know them on a personal level, because you might not even have to walk with these plants anymore if you just start growing them,
mm-hmm.
or start sitting with them or ingesting them.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see which plant in here I would like to talk about. Like, let's just talk about the poke weed right here.
Let's go right there.
It just popped up. You know what I'm saying?
And that's something that everybody knows. If they don't, they say that they might not know it by the name, but if they see it, they know what they're talking about.
It's everywhere, right?
Yes.
So right here, poke weed is a heavy plant. Okay, it's associated with aggressive protection and breaking curses. A lot of us dealing with generational curses in our lives, and we want to break those things. But how do we do it? It's a hex breaker. The root is used in uncrossing baths to break powerful hexes or jinxes. It is strong medicine for strong problems. Okay, the pokeberry ink. If you use the juice of those berries, you could use it like dragon's blood or dove's blood. Okay, use it to write petitions and spells, especially for controlling situations or binding someone. Now, you know, I'm not about using magic against people, but let's just say you go into court and you know the judge name. You know what I mean? You can bind him and keep him off for you.
Right.
I'm just being honest with you. Banishing things, because this plant is a purge. It is spiritually used to purge evil from your house. You can use it to wash your floors, wash your doors, wash your walls or whatnot. If you feel like you got some kind of negative energy in your house. But, you know, you might have to go. A lot of people go to the store and be like, oh, I got to get this herb, But no, this stuff growing right around you.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and make this and see if it works for you. Don't take my word for it.
Right. Be like Dr. Carver. You know, I love to tell the story of Saint Carver.
Mm-hmm.
Saint Carver, who is interred in terms of his physical vessel that took him, that carried him, carried his enormous spirit right there at Tuskegee, right at the campus of Tuskegee University, very close, a couple of feet away from the grave of Dr. Booker T. Washington. But the story is told about how after he came down to Tuskegee at Dr. Washington's invitation and everything, long story short, Booker T. Washington was asking him for tips on how to invigorate the crops to help the farmers grow stronger crops, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Dr. Carver said, well, you got to rotate the crops. And I'm imagining Booker T. Washington said, man, you're going to get us all killed. Why? Because of the same capitalism and greed that you talked about coming when you came in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, greed. So why would that be a problem, rotating the crops? Because all they wanted to do was grow cotton. Cotton was still king.
Yeah.
That was bringing in the money. Why are we going to rotate and do something else, right? And that's when he said to him, you know, all my adult life, I've risen at 4 o'clock in the morning. I go out in the woods and let God talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and God teaches me the secret life of the plants. And this is the same thing that you're sharing with us today, Baba Soul, the secret life of the plants.
Inspirations right there too.
Absolutely. That's Hossein in the flesh.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Dr. Carver, Dr. George Washington Carver. You know, but just the whole idea, just the approach, which has to be highlighted in this time because it will take us back home instead of take. Because that's that capitalist mentality. Imagine, I use the analogy, imagine going to your grandmother's house, right? Like you say, your grandmother would talk to you all the time. I remember I have great memories of my maternal grandmother and my paternal grandmother, but my paternal grandmother didn't know that long before she transitioned. But we used to go there for Easter, for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, for all the breaks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she would make sure we well fed and all of that. Imagine going to your grandmama's house all the time and getting fed, but never saying, Grandmama, can I come and rub your feet? Or can I go get some groceries for you or something? You know what I'm saying? That's the energy that we're walking with. You know, many of us are walking with in this time. So I thank you for hitting it right on the head. We're going to take a very short break and make room for another special guest that's going to be with us. And this is very important, appropriate tune that I see queued up here. that we're going to get right into. We're reasoning with Baba Soul, otherwise known as Tristan Wolfe. He is the author of Hood Medicine, Volume 1, An Urban Field Guide to Medicinal and Edible Plants of Eastern North America. Very specific. They just start where we are and their hoodoo uses in medicinal preparation. Let me get you back on the screen, Baba Soul.
My phone died.
All good.
I didn't even know it was dying until I looked at it.
All good, but we can hear you, so it's all good. 404-523-8989. Listen to this music and don't refuse it.
Praise his name. In the morning, it's I keep calling. Still keep humanity calling. Oh, praises due. Talking us in the strength in the morning, it's I keep calling. Corrupted Babylon system falling. The wealth of a conscious man, yes, to know the truth, to seek the truth. Unconscious in them living, Babylon don't have no fruit, illusion is a rotten fruit. So they don't sight of the emperor. Them joints in a vampire, skull and bone, blood out fire. So time them will discover, omnipotent might and power, His Majesty rule all over. Yeah. All praises to Together till that set in a dawning, I keep calling, stiff-necked morality calling. All praises Together till that set in a dawning, I keep calling. Corrupted Babylon system still valid. Only by accident or mistake, Rastafari give them judgments so they can't escape. Firmament in the heavens and the earthquake. Shake up, His Majesty first in everything. Be righteous in offering and a thanksgiving. Shall water and flow like a river, like a living spring. Spring, all praises. All praises in the morning, I keep calling. Make humanity calling. All praises in the dawning, I keep calling. Well, system still running. Black rise again.
Brethren coming from the VI came through the Zioneers and brought a hurricane of love to them.
He let up himself.
To hosting them again.
The Almighty leading place.
One Taras back.
There's none higher. There's no one higher.
Off a classic album called Jagaitan. Big up yourself, Mama Makeda. I see you. Also, Mama Makeda says she needs you over at the World Beat Center. I'm gonna make sure to make the link. I spent a lot of my time over there. Cultural watering hole You know, also walking hole, watering hole, and I know our special guest who is just joining us. She know all about the World Beach Center too. She know all about San Diego. You know, and she know all about that because she come up in that hood right there. We heard her voice earlier, inviting us again, inviting the family again to commune on the west side, on the Grove, in the Grove, you know, in the sacred grove, and share information, share energy, share inspiration for 2 long days of power. And that is the wonderful Wizards of Raw gathering. I don't see her on the mic, but I think.
I'll be right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, Baba Soul, let me get back to you, and let's talk about this other herb that you wanted to mention.
Well, yeah. First, I do want to say that I'll be doing a plant walk with Mama Tassili for
Okay.
on Saturday, from 12 to 2 at Cascade Nature Preserve.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
And we got a sweat lodge ceremony on Friday at June 5th, happening at 7:30 in the Arabian Mountain area.
That's what's up.
At the Box Turtle Lodge that I built. Oh, my bad, y'all.
You gotta sign up for it.
You gotta sign up, but they don't know what that's it.
Okay, well that's cool because a lot of times people just show up.
Yeah. They can't find this place unless they know where it's at. We tucked in the woods.
All right.
We tucked.
We do like the people in Suriname, you know, the Juka people in Suriname, and my next door neighbors. There's many stories about how people wanted to come and try to, you know, get involved where they weren't invited, and they just got confounded by the woods. Let's just put it that way. Just started walking around in circles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll get you.
So as we talked about at the beginning, observe the protocol of respect, do the right thing, and let's all live in harmony. Baba Soul, where are you taking us now?
So yeah, man, I just wanted to say that I got over 25 plants in this book here. You know what I mean? And one of the ones that I know that a lot of people are walking around right now is the honeysuckle vine.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk about the medicinal uses of it. Then I'm gonna tap into the hoodoo real quick too. So like in the book it says the flowers and the stems are used in traditional Chinese medicine for heat toxins. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I also use this plant for helping out with kidney issues as well.
Mm-hmm.
People that have bleeding kidneys, it's a good astringent. Also, you can use the flowers for face wash. You know what I mean? Help out with blemishes and stuff for the ladies that like to have beautiful skin. You know? And then let's talk about the hoodoo properties. It's sweet scent and causes longevity. You know what I mean? These sweet flowers are a top ingredient in sweetening spells. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know about that. They make honey jars and stuff like that. But what about these honeysuckles? Let's use the stuff that's naturally next to us. You know what I mean? It's also good for money and prosperity. Remember, I know a lot of people need money out here, but money is really your currency. You know what I mean? And also, money is a derivative of word moneta, which is like the moon. So we need to start honoring the divine feminine. This is how you tap more into your divine feminine. You know what I mean? Also, it's good for psychic awareness.
Honeysuckle growing abundantly all around us.
Suck out the sweetness.
Yeah, and a lot of us need love. You know what I mean? So that's that sweetness that we miss.
It makes perfect sense. You know.
I'm just
without going too deep into it. I remember when I found out that one of the most powerful herbs in the Orisha tradition is one called Segonseti, which we know as purslane.
Purslane, yep.
And the reason that it makes sense to me is because this is something about victory, about neutralizing the enemies of your progress. But why would that be? Because I know purslane from the properties of essential fatty acids and all of these things that strengthen up their immune system. So of course, if you're strengthening up the immune system and you're building up yourself, you're neutralizing your enemies. The two things happening simultaneously, right? Because, two things can occupy the same space at the same time. You know what I mean? Like they say all the time, parasites only attack weak cells. So that's why the first land defense, the first defense over, or against even the pest of the land and everything is what? Healthy soil. But without any further ado, we want to welcome Mama Tassili Maat to the studio. Mama Tassili.
Greetings, peace and love.
Thank you so much for joining us.
It's a blessing always to be with you, share with the community.
You think? I know you must feel. I'm making the assumption, and I want you to correct me live on the air if I'm wrong. If I got it wrong, you must feel tremendously proud when you see a young lion like Baba Soul roaring like how he's roaring, because you are in your elder space, and it's the elders for counsel and the youth for war. Even as we set the stage for this 15th annual Wonderful Wizards of Ra, where you be holding court. I just can imagine, that seeing a next generation taking up the mantle that you've held for so many years. Well, how does that feel?
It feels like my life, our lives, those of us who have, been pioneers of sorts, our lives have not been in vain. Mm-hmm. And I was just saying to Baba Soul that, Queen Mother, Makeda Dread, that's my teacher.
I see.
My spiritual auntie.
I see.
She loved on me when I was 17.
Yes.
Just checking on what it was to be a vegetarian, because there was no such thing as vegan. Yeah. And look at the lineage of Makeda, myself, yourself, and Baba Soul. I'm just getting chills. Ancestors. Woo,
and I only have my physical back to you in the studio because we're looking at the screen and everything, so you feel the energy. Right? I just want you to let you know.
Makeda Dread, Mama Makeda Dread, had the first vegetarian restaurant in San Diego.
Talk about it.
Not only, it was called The Prophet.
Yes.
Not only was it a vegetarian restaurant, but she had all kind of beautiful African art. She had Indian art, but she showed the Dravidian Indians as well. So to go in there, she had fountains, she had parrots. You could get a reading. She had all kind of beautiful books. Oh my God, her place was my home away from home. And I had the honor and privilege of starting her locks.
Ooh.
Yeah, I used to be a braider and a loctician in another life.
Wow.
So I'm just saying, our tradition is so rich.
I see.
So rich. Our connections are so rich. You're getting chills again.
Yeah.
And
it's
so
real.
when you told me today that Baba Soul was going to be in the building, I said, you know what? I'm going to manage to come down there and be present. Because first I was just going to do it over the phone. Yeah. But I wanted to be here because it is an honor to be able to work with the next generation and the generations to come. It absolutely is. And to know that you are so committed, that's why we continue to come full circle and check for you again. Every time we got something going on with the festivals, we check for, or the Inibe, which is the sacred sweat lodge. We call Baba Soul, calling him and Queen Mother Sundari. So being able to pass down the tradition of our ancient ways of healing is what this particular festival is about. My healing journey is what I'm going to primarily share. I will be the keynote speaker on both days. I'll be speaking from 5 to 6. And on Saturday, I'll be talking about the physical and mental aspects of healing. And on Sunday, I'll be talking about the emotion or soul contracts and the spiritual aspects of healing, because it really is a holistic endeavor. And I say holistic with a W-H, not just that H, because that means something missing. It's the H. Okay, so I'm serious about this word, sound power, and what kind of spells we are creating as we utilize this English language. So in any case, being able to, acknowledge on my own personal journey where I've, been indirectly on it since 2026. But then for me to experience a full-blown diagnosis of breast cancer, you know, I said, okay, this life of mine will not be lived in vain. I'm going to change the narrative of my mother, my grandmother, and my aunt. I'm changing it because they all left their bodies through the breast cancer portal. I said, nah, I'm not going out like that. And it's not my time, right? I'm ageless. So, you know, with that, I said, there has to be a way. And it is so true. The body's wisdom is such that when we stop moving and all the busyness that we do, which does have its place, when we get still and listen to the body's wisdom, our bodies are always telling us what to do and what they need to be strong, to heal, to do, as Baba Sola was saying, strengthen and activate the immune system. You know, and as you said, Roscoe, starting with the soil. So how many of us actually know where the food comes from? You know, I get on people all the time. I'm not against smoking herb, weed, marijuana, I'm not against that. I used to forever ago. But I'm so concerned about the youth because they're smoking GMO.
You don't even know where it's coming from.
Marijuana, and they are acting out of their minds.
Yeah, weaponized weed. Talk about it.
It's weaponized. Let's deal with that. So not only did they screw up the economy of the people that made the money,
of course,
in the so-called Black empowerment market. Right. In Jamaica, you know, where you would think that people should be wealthy. There are some people that are wealthy, but a whole lot of people, they are mashed up. Because the government has come in and found a way, as you spoke about, to capitalize everything and to pervert it. So, you know, just touching in on the fact that we as the people, the indigenous ones of the land, and no matter where you come from, you are African. Period. And even if you call yourself by a different name on this side of the water, because I have lineage on this side, I am Shawnee in the North American lineage, and then the West African coast, I am Mende. And so, in honoring both sides of my ancestors, they were people who moved, they migrated, they traveled. So foraging was a real thing. And that's why at this festival, it's actually our 16th year, we are offering not only the foraging at the nature preserve, but on Sunday, there will be an urban foraging, you know, and that will be led by Mama Adejua of Queenie's Kitchen. And she will be taking us all around the West End. All of the things you thought were weeds. The burdock. Chamomile. It's just, you know,
nutrient dense food.
Nutrient dense, plantain. You know, I could go on just listing the chickweed. You know, anyway, you'll get a chance to learn these things so that you will be empowered to be the owner of your own health. Because ultimately, family, no herbalist, no naturopath, no allopathic doctor, nobody can heal you until you are ready to heal yourself. And that's when the Most High can actually be fully activated within you, because there is no place that the Most High is not. So most of us are so disconnected from our bodies, so disconnected from nature. We don't know how to tap in, be still, tune in, and just ask your body. I had to ask my breast, why? Okay, why are you manifesting this? And you is me. Why? What is happening? And I had to go down a long line of not only generational curses that needed to be healed, but the ones I carried myself. The anger I carried myself, the frustration, the stress. And stress is an equal opportunity killer, fam. It don't matter where you come from, what you eat, what you do. So that was the difference between me and my foremothers. I said, well, I'm gonna take my health into my own hands. I'm gonna eat different. I'm not gonna smoke. I'm not gonna drink. You know, I'm gonna nurse all my babies. I've had 5 children. I said, I'm not doing that. And yet, I found myself in disbelief. What? Me? I've been a vegan for, over 20 years, 30 years before I actually manifested a tumor. I've been vegan much longer than that, but 30 years. And I had to say, well, how did this happen to me? And Spirit showed me ultimately that aside from the fact that it was hereditary, aside from the fact that it was epigenetic, why not me? So I don't wish any kind of dis-ease on anybody. It is a special charge to take on something that tends to be given with a death sentence.
Right.
But if we acknowledge that we chose these lives,
to bear witness to the transformation and the healing.
Come on.
Yeah, thank you.
There. If we acknowledge that, then I knew that I was going to be well. I was going to be fine. And after the first year or two, a friend of mine said, well, Tassili, if this thing was going to kill you, you'd be gone a long time ago. So obviously it didn't come to kill you, And when I thought about all of that, I'm like, you're right. And I chose the natural way, but found that I had to incorporate all the different modalities. I chose the natural way, though, because my foremothers chose to deal purely with allopathy. And because I have a daughter and I have granddaughters, I said, no, I want to be sure that they have options. They need to have options. Whatever they choose is on them, but it won't be because they didn't have an opportunity to know.
True. And with that, we gotta break for the next show. But I want to thank you, Mama Tassili, heartily, tremendously, for showing up, as we say, not just here in the studio, but just showing up, in this lifetime, and being a witness. This is more than anything you can read in a book and all them kind of things, all the abstract stuff. We have amongst us a witness of moving through the seasons with grace, and coming out as you are, on top. You know what I mean? So we give thanks. And we're looking forward to the wonderful Wizard of Ra.
Yes, and you all can get more information about it at tassilisraw.com. That's spelled T as in true, ASSILISRAW.com.
Give thanks.
And all the social media platforms at Tassili's Raw. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you
sir.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
More love.
At the strong end.
Baba Soul, same way, brethren. More love, man, and more strength on the journey. Yes, sir. And we'll talk more about this. Family, y'all take care of yourself. Take care of one another. We're gonna rule. Love.
You out here. Thank you. Yes. Please.
Now clap your hands and stamp your feet. This happens to be a treasured treat.
It's not that I don't love you. You know how much I do. And it's not that I found somebody to take the place of you. But it's just the feel within me. When you touch my hand, and a fear that shakes my body, and I don't understand.
So I'm leaving. This time I'm playing it smart. I'm gonna walk away from love before love breaks my
This program is made possible by listeners like you and the audience sponsors. Tassili's Raw Reality Cafe Wizards of Rock. This year's theme is
but you know it's gonna take everything. I'm walking out that door. See your arms that you got around me. Let me go someday. So I'd rather to leave than holding on, pushing me away. So I'm leaving. This time I'm playing it smart. I'm gonna walk away from love before love breaks my
For sure. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get it. Okay. I'll see you on the next one. All right. We're looking at that. That's it. Use that key right there, and I'll wait for you to get it. Come back in here. Go out the door and make it right. Yeah, make it first right.